Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you, and thank you for joining us for the WLBT Plus Digital News Desk Update. I'm CJ LeMaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host. Happy Tuesday to you, the 27th of January. We are almost through with the month of January, and still a lot still going on. We want to first go ahead and tell you about, we've got some stories we want to get to. This is something that was breaking from overnight, and just a horrible situation from South Jackson. An 18-wheeler bursting into flames early this morning. This was the scene shortly after 4 this morning on the ramp from Elton Road to I-55 southbound. The truck engulfed in flames at one point. Now, we don't know yet what caused the fire or if the driver managed to get out safely. Of course, the fire is out now. Interstate traffic is not affected. From one extreme to the other, we are talking now about this winter storm aftermath that so many Mississippi counties are dealing with at this point. And we want to tell you that in the governor's press conference, you may have seen it. We live streamed it here on WLBT Plus yesterday. But the governor alluded to the possibility of a third person who died due to the winter storms. That has now been confirmed today. Here's what we know right now. So, you remember us already reporting about Bobby Freeman, 66 years old from Jackson, who was in a vehicle. His vehicle, he lost control of it there in Bolton. He got out and tried to walk for help and ended up freezing to death. Timothy Steele, 73 years old from Iuka. His home, he was asleep and a tree came crashing into his home, pinning him down, and he froze to death as well. Now, this third unidentified victim, all we know is that the person is from Alcorn County. We do not know any of the other circumstances behind that, but we are working to get those details to you. Much of the town of Rolling Fork still has no electricity and very little water pressure this morning in the aftermath of this weekend's winter weather. Everywhere you look, trees and power lines covered with ice. We've been told the hospital and several nursing homes have been dealing with no water or power. A city alderwoman says the town has no warming center, so that she's contacted the Cajun Navy for help. She's requested blankets, water, and a generator. Now, for those who do have water, Rolling Fork, is currently under a boil water alert. Governor Tate Reeves says he's now deploying the National Guard to help with storm recovery. He had an update on damage assessment and recovery efforts in a news conference yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
As you may know, there are currently 48 counties that have damage reports, and of those 48 counties, as we mentioned yesterday, at least 37 of them either have had or continue to have ice on them. So there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of logistics that has to take place as we try to respond.
Now, the governor says he's spoken with the director of the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, who assured him Mississippi will receive what it needs, including generators, bottled water, tarps, and food from federal partners. Holmes County is still struggling with the aftermath of the storm as well. We want to show you some of the video from there. This is from the city of Durant. Officials there say that falling tree limbs have caused damage to numerous power lines across the city, and at least 2 homes have significant damage. The situation is similar in the town of Pickens, where many residents have been without electricity since Sunday morning. As they wait for things to get back to normal, many are leaning on each other to make it through.
A lady on Facebook contacted me this morning. Her water or something wouldn't go off in Goodman. And she contacted me, and I'm here in Pickens. I hit up an alderman in Goodman, and within minutes, she said that they were over at her house. So we're just using the little communication that we have.
We have people in the community like Miss Jacqueline Noel, who has made sure to come through the seniors and prepare breakfasts and lunch for them. And I've assisted her with that and going door to door to make sure those residents that were without water and power woke up this morning to make sure they were okay.
Durant's police chief, DeMarcus Friend, tells 3 on Your Side of generators being installed to help get water service restored there. Entergy says they're making progress accessing damage and restoring power to many of you without it. They actually held a press conference and provided an update yesterday. We want to show you a little bit from that. Entergy Mississippi President and CEO Haley Fizzackerly provided an update on utility restoration efforts following this weekend winter storm. Right now, thousands from South Haven to Natchez still without power. The utility has around 2,700 crews out, but continued icy conditions and damaged equipment may delay them from safely getting to work.
We have 13 transmission lines currently out of service, spanning over 300 miles. Those serve roughly 11 communities that we're working to restore. We have already returned 4 lines to service. Assessment is underway through ground patrol and aerial patrols. We have 2 helicopters out now patrolling areas, and where possible, we're also using drones. So every tool possible that we have is being used to quickly assess so we can quickly respond.
Now, Entergy, of course, has provided some degree of information regarding restoration estimates, but of course, those are subject to change. You can find those on our website, WLBT.com. And keep in mind, again, these are estimates. We want to also show you this right now. 142,000 customers, more than 142,000 customers across Mississippi currently out of power right now. The biggest county where this is happening is Lafayette, of course, Oxford up there. And when you look at in terms of the actual customers themselves, this is where it gets a little interesting. And I'll just tell you, just from looking this up earlier, we've got 5 counties in Mississippi where 90% or more of the customers being tracked by poweroutage.us are without power. One quick thing to tell you about, you see that number there that says customers out, 142,816. Well, what if I told you it's actually more than that? And let me explain. Those are just the number of homes that are out, homes and businesses. Well, households, the average household is 2.5 people. So you can't really count every meter as just one home, one person. And so if you look at it like that, then we are talking potentially 350, 360,000 people without power that are dealing with this winter weather. And it could be much more than that, because even this power outage website, and I'll show you again to illustrate what I'm talking about, there are a number of utilities that don't report. So you come all the way here, the untracked utilities, there's 17 of them. And you've got probably 160, 170,000 customers that are not reported to this website, which means potentially almost 500,000 Mississippians. We don't know the status of their power through that website. Again, that website's very thorough. I mean, it's got most of the information from most of the counties, but a dozen counties have inaccurate counts because those utilities don't always report. And so it's a little harder for us to tell you the full scope of the problem when we can't give you, we got the most accurate information we can get, but it's not as accurate as we would like. And I want to show you, going back to this map just real quick as an example. So you see all these counties here? All right, so let's look at Yazoo for a second. They track 1,300 customers. Well, okay, there's more than 1,300 people live in Yazoo County. Issaquena County, 1 customer out, 1 customer tracked. Well, obviously that's the smallest county in the state by population, but there's more that live there too. So again, take these with a grain of salt, because it could be a whole lot worse than what we're seeing here. Sorry about that. Hit the wrong button. Let's get to a couple of your comments real quick. Marilyn Floyd saying, hey, Marilyn, hope you're doing well. Britt, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you too. Britt is always joining us, and we appreciate her. She's very, very faithful viewer and occasional listener when she's driving. Ethel Anderson saying good afternoon, and Cynthia Scott, good afternoon, ladies. I hope you're doing well. Good afternoon to you as well. And Miss Betty Randall Smith saying the same. Hope you're doing good on this Tuesday. We're almost to the halfway point in the work week, folks. So we want to tell you about something with that. Keep in mind the number of Mississippians affected, and hopefully, as the governor has said, you're checking on your neighbors, your friends, your family to make sure they're okay as they're waiting for power to be restored. We're just now starting to see temperatures come above freezing here in the metro. That's not the case in North Mississippi, as so many folks are dealing with that. And of course, that's making these efforts to try to clear these lines even harder because of the harsh weather and what's already fallen. But we want to tell you, give you some tips. If you're watching us on your phone and for whatever reason you don't have power, we want you to keep this in mind. Obviously, sub-freezing temperatures are more than just uncomfortable. According to the CDC, more than 1,000 people died in 2023 due to excessive cold or hypothermia. So it is very, very serious. The deadliest month that year was January. Now, older folks and people with diabetes can be especially sensitive to cold exposure. Hypothermia can lead to tissue damage, irreversible frostbite, even death. And that's why it's incredibly serious to make sure that your loved ones, people you know, are are protected right now and have the means to keep warm, either by makeshift efforts in the home or something like going to warming centers and shelters that are still open.
Hypothermia is a big risk. It can cause issues. You would look for any symptoms of, power in the fingertips or in the hands. If you've been outside for long periods of time, you would, ask if they were having any numbness or tingling.
That nurse practitioner says the best thing you can do to avoid those cold-related illnesses is to layer up, drink less alcohol, and keep your skin moisturized right now. And here's another thing, too, that we've gotten a lot of people who have talked to us about this. Gas companies are continuing to say this, too, urging customers to be as cautious as they can be as this cold weather continues. We're going to have below freezing temperatures, at least in the metro, several nights this week, overnight low temperatures. So even though these extreme cold temperatures we saw the last couple of days are getting a little bit warmer, it's still going to be incredibly cold. Spire Energy is based in Hattiesburg, and they are saying that natural gas appliances like furnaces, stoves, fireplaces need proper ventilation to be able to work safely. They also warn that you should keep outdoor vents and gas meters clear of ice and snow. Use a brush or a broom, never hard objects or hot water to remove any buildup. Also, they recommend keeping generators outside to prevent carbon monoxide exposure.
Never ever run that generator in an attached garage, even with the doors open. Always have it outside in a good distance, I think 20 feet or so away from the house, away from the structure, because you don't want to get that carbon monoxide in the structure with you. When you're fueling up and those kind of things, always be careful, let it cool down, and also you don't cause a fire, and just be safe with that.
Now, if you smell natural gas or hear a hissing sound, leave immediately and call Spire or 911, depending on where you live. Natural gas is often described as smelling like rotting eggs. So again, very important to make sure that, as we said yesterday, make sure that you don't, just be very cautious. There are those gas buddy heaters people have been using. They're considered space heaters, so those are okay. If you have a carbon monoxide detector that's battery powered, it's not a bad idea to use that in your home. That doesn't mean that just because you have one, you could use your oven to heat your home or bring a gas grill in or a generator inside. No, don't do any of that. Be very, very careful because, again, you never know what could happen. I can tell you as a kid, we had a carbon monoxide detector in the home, and this was not during like super cold weather. We just had, I think it was one of the units or something was not performing correctly. And we got the alarm went off in the middle of the night, and we got out of the house. And if we had not had that carbon monoxide detector, we would not have made it. Because again, especially if you're sleeping, you can't tell. It's not going to be something that's going to affect you where you would know that something was going on. So please use caution. Tasha Newell saying that Humphreys County is still without power and water. Yeah, it is. In fact, it's one of those 5 counties that has a ton of power outages. About 90+% of the county is without power right now. It's a lot. And again, even though the numbers may not look like it from where we are, it's still a ton of, I'm trying to pull up the stuff here to kind of give you an idea, but last check, it was about 95. I think there's like 16 or 1700 customers or homes that are tracked in Sharkey, and about 15 or 1600 are without power. So to give you an idea of just how much that is, it's a lot. And so, yeah, Tasha, thanks for that. It's very bad in parts of the Delta. Brenda McLaurin Hayes, watching from Mendenhall. Miss Brenda, I hope you're doing well. That's all we've got for today, folks. Again, just please stay safe, stay warm. continue to check on family members if you know, if you have folks, if you live out in the Delta, or if you know folks that do, just check on them, make sure they're okay. Also in Northeast Mississippi, I mean, this map that we've been looking at here that really illustrates the problem. If you know folks that live in this area or any of these counties here, please, check on them. Let them know that you're looking for them or that you're looking out for them. As we said, Humphreys County. Okay, I was off on the counts. I'm sorry. Almost 2,500 customers tracked, 2,300, more than 2,300 without power, but that's still about 94%. I think I was thinking of Sharkey County because Sharkey's got about 1,700 people or customers tracked there. But I mean, just look at this. You've got a lot. And even in the major counties like Tippah County, 91%, almost 92%. That's 12,000 homes without power. Alcorn County, more than almost 17,000 homes without power there. Prentiss County, and a lot of these areas, again, like you look at Monroe County, there's not many there. Monroe County isn't really reported through this app because some of the electric power associations don't report to them. But there's a whole lot here. And a lot of this up in the northern part of the state, northeastern part of the state, is because of an issue with a TVA transmission line that they're working to repair and get restored. Because there are a lot of electric power associations, cooperatives, that provide power in these upper counties, really throughout the state, to be honest with you. There's more than a dozen that provide power, but a lot of them in the northern part of the state get their power from the Tennessee Valley Authority, and because there was an issue with the transmission line there, it has stopped them from being able to get their supply of power. So they are working to restore that as soon as possible as well. As you know, Tennessee got hit pretty hard too, and so I mean, even right now, as we have 143,000 homes without power, Tennessee's got 168,000. So they're way up there. We have the second highest number of power outages right now in the nation because of how this storm has affected us. So again, please stay safe. Britt asking, is your family good in North Mississippi? I remember you saying on one of the broadcasts you were from. Yeah. So I'm originally from Boonville, which is in Prentiss County. It's a town of maybe 8,000 people. Its claim to fame is it has a community college there, Northeast Mississippi Community College. Mom sent me some pictures, and she said that they're okay. They've got power. There's probably, I think there's maybe 5,000 or so customers or homes without power in Prentiss County, but they're okay. They have power. Now, she lives in Corinth, but she's been staying in Boonville. Corinth is in Alcorn County, and it's almost on the Tennessee Mississippi state line. I mean, it's way up there. And so Corinth, the house got hit pretty hard, but thankfully it's just tree branches down. I think they're without power, but no windows broken, no damage to the roof. And when you look at some of the stuff coming out of the Delta and other parts of Mississippi, Tupelo area too, and having gone through the 94 ice storm, I'm grateful that we dodged a bullet there. But there are so many folks who are really working through and dealing with this. A couple of things I want to let you know that we didn't talk about, but just to give you an idea. If you happen to be in a home that does not have power right now, and in some of these estimates, Entergy was saying it could be Sunday or Monday of next week before you get power. And even though the temperatures will be improving, you're still going to be having below freezing temperatures or close to that at night. If you have a tent, set up a tent in your living room. It sounds crazy, but you can regulate the temperature more effectively in a very closed space like that. If you have several people in your house, make sure they're sleeping relatively together or close by, because body heat can actually help as well. Cover windows, try to insulate them as best you can. If you don't have a tent, relocate and try to sleep in the smallest interior room of your house if you can. All of these things can help you in terms of trying to make sure that you get stay warm and at least make it through this. Make sure that you have the ability to cook or have hot beverages. If you have a thermos or something that retains heat, like one of these or something, you can use that and keep that filled. Wear layers and make sure that you've got all of that available to you, multiple blankets, things of that nature. Make sure that you keep warm socks and headgear on, like a like a beanie or something like that kind of keeps your head covered. And again, if you have warming centers in your area, go there and utilize that. The governor has said we've got 61 throughout the state in 30 counties, according to MEMA. Well, when I looked at it yesterday, I counted enough in 34 counties. He's off by a little bit, but I counted almost 70 that were open. And again, you can see all that information for yourself as well. MSEMA.org is MEMA's website, and you go there right now. You can see all of the warming shelters that are still open in various parts of the state. Atala County, where Kosciuszko and folks in the county have gotten hit hard. Cahoma County, there in the Delta. DeSoto, Forest, Grenada County. Grenada got hit very hard by this. You've got several places still in Hines. We have a sizable unhoused population here, so we have those open to help them as well. Humphreys County, very important. Several in Lafayette County. Now, the governor has said to get out there and see if there's availability there. What we've heard on social media from a lot of people talking about it is that a lot of these places are full. So just keep trying and doing what you can. Reach out to relatives. If you're unable to travel, just get a hold of anybody you can to try and help. Contact police departments or sheriff's departments if you need help, trying to get through some of this. If you're in an area that's blocked off or that's impassable because of ice, just make sure that you do everything you can. And if you know folks who are out there that are going to need help with some of these things, do your part to reach out. If there's one thing that we're known for in Mississippi, it's helping those in need. And it's our hope here that, it's horrible that we've already had 3 deaths from this winter weather. We hope as this cold snap continues through the week that those are the only 3 who have succumbed to these temperatures and these conditions. So please check on your friends, your family, and your neighbors during this time. That's all the time we have for today. Sorry to end it on a solemn note, but again, we're hoping that this information gets to you and you're able to, help folks that live near you and family members and things like that, so that we can do our part to make sure everybody gets through this safely and hopefully warmer temperatures before we know it. So our first alert weather team will be in here at 2:30 to kind of give you an idea of what to expect the rest of this week and this weekend. There's the initial thought that we might have some more winter weather throughout this weekend, but they'll talk to you about that. I think the timing may just be for Friday at this point, but hopefully, but it's certainly not going to be the kind of ice that we saw this weekend. So nothing like that. And of course, our early evening newscasts start at 4 p.m. on air and online. Thanks to so many of you for watching on Facebook and our YouTube live stream, as well as our OTT platform. For everyone here at WLBT News, I'm CJ Lemaster, your lead investigative reporter and your host for this WLBT Plus Digital News Desk update for January 27th. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see you back here tomorrow.